Okay, today we want to talk about the industry internet and also how it impact the smart manufacturing, especially in the automotive industries. I'm from Singapore. So the ASEAN now is also facing opportunity as well as the challenges. For instance, the Thailand used to be the Detroit of the East 20 years ago. Thailand was the center of manufacturing in ASEAN. So this is one of the background that we want to see how the industrial internet can affect the smart manufacturing moving forward, especially from the emerging EV manufacturing coming to the ASEAN landscape. On the left side used to be the traditional manufacturing. Now we are moving into the internet enabled. So why is internet? Now everybody's talking about AI, agentic AI. AI actually rely a lot of data. To collect data in the past, you only can extract from machines. If the machine do not have data, you cannot go further. The industrial internet is very important enabling technology for you to do AI and moving forward into more intelligent manufacturing. We are also at the crossroads that the Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, they used to manufacture a lot of the traditional car. Moving forward, we are looking at emerging technology, for instance, battery technology, and also the intelligent manufacturing. This is also provided a lot of the opportunity as well as challenges. Opportunity about the last 30 years in ASEAN, we have accumulated a lot of manufacturing technology, especially we learned from, let's say, US, Japan, right, and Korea. But now the issue is how the ASEAN manufacturing can move into the EV era. This is something I want to talk about. So this is a landscape in terms of the what the EV market going to look like. For instance, we know that in the ASEAN total market, we have the demand for 3.28 million cars. So in fact, it's quite a big market, and the market will be even grow further because ASEAN is a market that's going to grow in terms of GDP. The demand will be growing in the next 10 and 20 years. Different country, they have a different strategy. For instance, Thailand, they are looking at by 2030 to produce 30% of the car in EV. And a lot of countries, they are doing a lot of incentives. I give example, for instance, Vietnam, Indonesia, and Malaysia, they are giving a lot of incentive for people to switch to EV. Singapore have made a commitment by 2040, we want to phase out internal combustions. So from 2040 onward, you cannot buy any non-EV car in Singapore. This is one of the opportunity for the growth. Okay, why industrial IoT? Industrial IoT play a very important role for you to move in terms of the smart manufacturing. For instance, we are looking at smart productions, predictive maintenance, supply chain, and enhanced quality. These are the four factors and four important roles that industrial IoT can play. For instance, I was talking to a detail of all these four areas that how the industrial IoT can play a role for the smart manufacturing, maintenance, supply chain, and also the quality aspect. These are the four important factors that to make your EV car more reliable and also you're able to produce EV car more efficiently. Okay, if you look at the smart productions in action, what happens if you use industrial internet? What can you achieve? If we are looking at you want to change a model, right? In ASEAN, we are not such a big production area like China that you can produce a car in a big volume. Normally, we have a few models that you have to run on the same production line. And you need to look at not only the change over time, you need to actually manufacture different model on the same production line. These are the challenges that if you are not using the industrial IoT or even AI, you cannot achieve that. Lastly, to ensure that your assets are fully utilized, you have invest in millions of dollars of production line. You want to ensure the production is always running. If you don't have a very smart and efficient technology to run your production line. You cannot achieve all this. If you can't achieve all this in ASEAN, those manufacturing of vehicle were not able to compete at a global stage. Especially we are looking at a lot of the car manufacturing are coming into to invest. Predictive maintenance is something that a lot of car manufacturer is looking at. You know that in the car manufacturing, you employ a lot of manufacturing technology. If one of these component is being sort of stopped, you have to stop the whole production line. How you ensure that you are able to predict the machines that when it break down? This is where the predictive maintenance is very important. For instance, we are using reactive technology, meaning when the machine break down, then you go and repair, right? Preventive maintenance actually is also another step forward that you are able to do routine maintenance. That's to say that you repair the machine, even the machine is not down. So I think this also wastes a lot of the resources. And the predictive maintenance is something that is more advanced in terms of the maintaining the machines. And to do this, industrial IoT to produce you the right data for you to use an AI to do the predictive in terms of the machine downtime. This is a very important advantage if you are using the industrial internet. The other is the supply chain. Supply chain actually is very important in terms of the car manufacturing. You know that in car manufacturing, you have thousands of components. And the OEM, they are not able to manufacture all the components. Supply chain is become a very important factor that your manufacturing is always running. For instance, you are looking at the real-time locations in terms of your good transport from point to point. You are able to predict your logistic. The parts are coming from all over the world. And if you have certain disruption in the logistic, you also affect your productions. And supplier performance, if you are able to put the industrial internet right into the components that they supply, you are able to also ensure that you are able to understand your quality from your different supply chain, especially the component suppliers. Inventory optimization is very important. So in the manufacturing plant, most of the time, I think people are looking at just in time. The just in time allow you to bring the product and all the components at your plant at the right times. So how you do it? This is where the Internet of Things are able to achieve that. For instance, you're able to track all the parts, right, from point to point to keep your inventory to the right level. You are not going to keep more inventory or you run out of inventory because they will affect your production of your vehicle in your manufacturing plant. The next thing we are looking at is quality control. You know that manufacturing of car is not an easy task because when your consumer buy your car, they expect the car to be running 24 hours by 7. Any parts that have problems, it will affect your qualities. So currently, a lot of this advanced technology, for instance, you are able to using a real-time vision inspection to inspect all the parts that manufacture on your production line. So any part that actually having problems, you're able to ensure that the rest of the production will not be affected. So real-time quality control is very difficult. In the past, you always inspect the car at the end of the manufacturing operations. But now with all these real-time vision system, which is also part of the IoT technologies, you're able to inspect and ensure that quality control is always at the optimum. And the regulatory requirement, because some of these parts that you required a lot of this identification tracking. So if you're using the IoT, the RFID, and even now the RFID price is already coming down. So you're able to track all the parts using the IoT technology. Okay, let's look at the IoT market share. A lot of IoT players in the past, I find it very difficult to sell their technology. Moving forward, because of the AI especially of the communication technology. For instance, in Singapore, we already roll out the full 5G technologies. So they allow the communications to function very well. That will also affect the rest of the investment. Currently, the IoT technology price is coming down. Coupled with the 5G, you can see the technology are able to converge together for you to run a smart factory, a real-time factory. In ASEAN, we are looking at a lot of case studies. If you look at some of these case studies that we are able to sort of cut down in terms of the unplanned downtimes, and as energy efficiency is one of the factor that a lot of manufacturing companies, they are looking at the energy efficiency because of the carbon footprints that required by the end user. If you have a very good sort of IoT technology, you are able to improve your root cause analysis. In the past, I think you have to analyze after when the problem is sort of realized, but now you are able to know the root cause almost in real times. These are the potential scope of the implementation in the ASEAN. A lot of the manufacturers are looking at how can IoT help them to improve their production line. You know, the IoT or industrial IoT, more than 10 years. Until now, we see there are a lot of applications as the component price, the communication, the analytics software. You are able to use, for instance, the 5G technology will allow you to track thousands of the IoT in a plant, which is in the past is not possible, right? So with all this technology together, we are seeing a lot of these IoT players trying to enter into the market, especially, the manufacturing market like automotive industries. This is one area that a lot of IoT players, they are sort of getting up themselves to see how can they capture a more market share. Okay, I want to use Singapore as example. Singapore have developed a manufacturing assessment technology. We call it SIRI, Smart Industrial Readiness Index. This assessment framework is developed by Singapore. This framework is also used by the World Economic Forum to assess the plant in terms of their maturity. We understand that China also use a lot of SIRI framework in manufacturing. Singapore is a very small country. We don't have a lot of lands, so we cannot actually do a full-fledged of the automotive industry. But what we do is we have one of the advanced final assembly plant in Singapore. Inside this plant, we are using all the IoT technology. We are using the 5G together with AI. We are using this as a demonstration site so that other manufacturers can implement all this technology using this platform. We have worked out a lot of the innovation and also the regional bridges allows Singapore to become innovation hub for all the company to use it as innovation implementation. These are the critical challenges that we need to sort of address. For instance, the investment skill gap, technology hurdle, and also the external pressures. These are the existing problems that a lot of manufacturers in ASEAN need to solve. So in order to do this, we require a very collaborative ecosystem. So you're looking at the government working with the manufacturer, the technology partner, for instance, the SI, the academia, like, the research institute and the financial institute are able to to sort of share the risk in terms of investment in the plant and also financing the end user usage. And the industrial association need to play a part in terms of promoting the standards. I'm involved in some of these standard council that we try to promote standard so that everybody can use a standard to do a manufacturing plant in a more efficient way. We have many advantages in terms of moving into automotive industries. They have a lot of government support. And also in the past, I think the last 30 years, a lot of this skilled workforce are able to redeploy. Even we are looking at the new technology like EV manufacturing. And integrated supply, all these 10 countries are trying to develop a supply chain so that each country can develop or manufacture different products. But at the end of the day, all this supply chain will be synchronized. that will actually make the whole logistic more efficient. We are looking at a technology convergence in the next 5 to 10 years. How can you deploy this technology? For instance, how you integrate the IoT, the AI, together with the supply chain and ensure that all the ecosystem players are able to work together. You need a very strong ecosystems to support the manufacturing. If you look at the show today, you are seeing all the ecosystem players work together to give the manufacturer a full end-to-end in terms of the manufacturing component and services. I think this is very important for the automotive industry to move forward. How quickly we can move into this advanced manufacturing together with using the technology, the industrial internet, 5G, AI, and all these analytics software now, which is very affordable. We know that the manufacturing is a very difficult function in the manufacturing ecosystems. If we are looking at all the components that, as I mentioned, the ecosystem, the supplier, the standard, and also important thing is the human resource. How can we train a human resource to take care of the new manufacturing plant? Okay, this is my conclusions. Thank you very much.